The night was quiet, except for the restless ticking of an old clock in the hallway. Anna lay awake in her bed, staring into the darkness. The silence pressed down on her, heavy and unnatural, as though the house itself was holding its breath. Then, the shrill sound of the telephone shattered the stillness. She sat up, heart pounding, and reached for the receiver. On the other end, she heard a whisper. It was her own voice.
"Don't open the door."
Before she could react, a knock echoed from downstairs. 1, 2, deliberate, hollow. The phone whispered again.
"Don't look outside."
Anna's hand trembled on the receiver. She turned her head toward the hallway. Somewhere in the dark, floorboards groaned. A shadow moved, but it wasn't outside. Anna lived alone in a house at the end of Willow Lane, a narrow brick building with crooked windows and a roof that sagged like a weary shoulder. She had inherited it only months ago from an aunt she barely remembered. The locals never spoke of the place with warmth. Some crossed the street when they passed it, muttering that the walls held memories best left untouched. Anna had laughed it off. She needed a home, and the house had been free. But on that first night, the laughter drained from her. She stared at the phone in her hands, her own voice echoing in her ears. She wanted to dismiss it as a prank, a trick of tiredness, maybe even a recording. But she knew, deep in her bones, that it was her voice. The same timbre, the same rhythm. She hung up, tried to breathe, tried to believe it was nothing. And then, another knock at the door, louder this time. The sound reverberated through the walls, low and heavy, like someone pressing their fist against the wood and waiting. Anna crept halfway down the stairs, the wooden banister cold beneath her fingertips. The front door stood in shadow, the moonlight falling across it in thin silver stripes. For a moment, she thought she saw a movement behind the frosted glass pane, a blurred silhouette standing too still to be natural. The phone rang again. Her pulse quickened. She picked up, afraid to hear silence, afraid to hear anything at all. Her voice returned, this time more urgent, more strained.
"Don't open the door."
Anna dropped the receiver. The voice buzzed faintly from the floor until the line cut off. She ran back upstairs, heart hammering, and locked herself in her room. But as the night stretched on, she could hear soft steps in the hallway. Someone or something was already inside. The following days blurred together in uneasy half-sleep. Anna told herself it had been a dream, a trick of exhaustion. Yet the phone continued to ring at night. Sometimes she let it. Sometimes she answered. Always her own voice. Always the same warnings.
"Don't look outside. Don't answer the door. Stay away from the stairs."
And each time, the warnings grew closer to the truth of what she was living. One night, she walked the halls with a candle. Its flame bent and flickered as if the air itself resisted light. In the living room, the photographs that hung on the wall seemed to shift. Once familiar faces blurred, their eyes smudged into shadows. She pressed her hand against one frame. The glass was warm, too warm. From behind her, a floorboard groaned. She spun, candle shaking. No one stood there, but the air moved as though someone had just stepped aside. By the fifth night, Anna stopped pretending she was sane. She had begun keeping a notebook, filling it with the times the phone rang. The exact words spoken, the knocks at the door. Patterns emerged. She realized each warning always came just before the moment itself occurred. It was as though the voice knew what was about to happen. And then came the night she saw herself. She had stumbled into the hallway mirror, light from her candle casting her reflection in long shadows. But the reflection was not in sync. Her hand moved slower, her breath delayed, her eyes staring too long into her own. Then her reflection whispered, though Anna herself made no sound.
"You can't stop it."
The glass cracked, a thin fracture running across her face like a scar. She dropped the candle. Darkness swallowed her. The phone rang. She answered without hesitation. Her own voice, weak, desperate.
It ends with you. Make the call.
The meaning crystallized. All the warnings, all the broken nights, all the shadows. They were her, not echoes of the past, but fragments of herself, bleeding across time. She understood what she had to do. Anna walked to the table where the phone sat, hands trembling. She dialed the number she knew by heart. Her own. The line clicked, and in the silence, she heard it. The first warning. Her own whisper, carried back to her, completing the circle.
Don't open the door.
For the first time, she wasn't terrified. She was exhausted, resigned. She placed the receiver gently down. The knocking stopped. The footsteps faded. The shadows withdrew. It was over. Morning sunlight spilled through the cracked blinds. The house was quiet, too quiet. Anna gathered her notebook, its pages filled with desperate handwriting, and placed it by the phone. She did not pack. She did not take a suitcase. She opened the front door, stepped outside, and felt the chill of fresh air on her face. For the first time, she heard birdsong, faint but real. Behind her, the phone rang once more. She did not turn back. Some loops were meant to be broken. Others, perhaps, only rewritten.